Hi, my name is Valeria Salas, and I decided to do Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis for my book report. So in this book, I really liked it personally because C.S. Lewis actually happened to be an atheist before he became a Christian. So it just brings a lot of okay, what he's saying is actually true. So I'm just going to start my summary. For the first part, he talked about the law of human nature and how it's not something that we as humans created. It's something that God put in place, and it's something that we follow. He also talked about how it's created by God, basically. And the second part, he talked about pantheists, Christianity, and atheists. So pantheists, they believed more on how God is the universe, other than contrary to Christianity, where God is apart from it, but he created it. So they were God is everything, basically. And then atheists, where they don't believe that there's a God, period. And so he talked more about that because he was like, if you're an atheist, then there's no way that you can criticize Christianity, because to criticize them would be to believe that there is just and unjust kind of thing, like good and evil. And if you don't believe in a God, then you can't believe in that. So therefore, you're saying you have to believe in a God to exist. So you would have to fall between pantheist and Christianity. And obviously, I don't know, there were some points to Christianity. He also goes on to Christianity, making points out there are different denominations, there are different sects and stuff like that. But in the end, for the most part, they all agree that Jesus Christ is the way to salvation. Is the way to be saved and live a godly life. In part 3, he goes on to talk about how it is to live a life as a good Christian. And so with this, he talked about harmony with people, harmony within ourselves, and just a constant vigilance of our salvation, basically. Fearing God. And he also mentions other things such as prudence, temperance, justice, fortitude, chastity, sex, marriage, sex in marriage, and all that. He also mentions theological virtues such as charity, hope, faith. And with charity, something I really liked was how he mentioned that a fake it to make it kind of thing. Because eventually, the more you practice being generous, the more you practice being kind and all that, eventually that will start to spring up before you, and that will make you a better Christian and live a life more in alignment to who Christ was. The fourth part that he went on to talk about was how God exists outside of time, basically. So he was talking more about the science behind God and our free will, and how he was talking about how God is outside of time, therefore he sees the past, he sees the present, he sees the future, therefore he knows it all. So he's not really manipulating us and moving us like puppets. It's just we can't see time like he sees it. Therefore, I don't know, our free will is within right now, but he's what's going to happen, so therefore he plans things in that way. It's very complicated. And he ends the book with dying to oneself to pick up our cross and die to ourselves and our desires, and eventually the reward will be in heaven. The reward will be living eternity with Christ. So that's my summary. I absolutely loved the book. I would recommend it to everyone. It's, especially Christian or not, it gives you a whole different perspective on how Christianity should be and what it is, and basically. Two key points that I take away from this was probably the moral law. It just the thought of if you believe there is good and there is evil, then you have to believe that there is a God. And so something I wrote down, we choose things, but God places that this is wrong, this is right. And it's not something about free will, it's just a model for morality, basically. And So yeah, we have to acknowledge that there is a God if we believe that there is good and evil. My second thing, I know I'm over 5 minutes by a little bit, but it's the pride talk. And like in my individual life, I feel like as an athlete and as a Christian and a leader at my church, I feel like sometimes pride can come in the way, and it's like I can't hold myself to that standard because first of all, the glory should be to God, not to me. And pride can create anger, bitterness, and wanting to be like God, which is ultimately what he was saying, how that got the devil into hell in the first place because of his pride. So I won't get more into depth because I'm out of time. But I love this book and I loved everything about it. I have some good conversations with my friends about this book and it's incredible. So thank you. Bye.